You feel that? Things just feel different around here after the Chicago Bears win. We get to talk about the Chicago Bears victory, what all went into that victory, what were some of the keys, and how did the Chicago Bears start showing progress towards the team we ultimately want them to be. We're going to talk about all that plus a little bit of the mailbag right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. The Bears are now 2-2 on the season, and in a game where, just to kind of lay the foundation down, this was a game where the offense started doing some things right? Like the offensive line was much better throughout this game. Still not great, right? Still not great. It's just better than what it has been. Right? There was progress made in that area. You look at the Bears, doing some key things in it that I think, like taking care of the ball, things like that, which we'll talk about. And overall, like, this was a Bears offense that went to the hot hand. And while that should be something that's simple, right? It's not something that Shane Waldron in this offense has always done. It's not always gone to the hot hand at the right times. And so you got to commend the Chicago Bears for being able to do that. I've talked about it before. Getting to being at 500 by the bye week, I think, is hugely important for a team that has typically been better towards the back end of the season. And so, as this team is still getting its footing, getting its rhythm down, things like that, we saw some really good signs in this game. Again, I'm going to hesitate from calling it a good game by the offense. It was an okay game, and things are progressing. Like Caleb Williams is making 17 of 23 on connections, 157 yards, 133 net when you add in the sacked 3 times for 24 yards, had a QB rating of 106. There are signs of things going into the direction that we need him to be in. But I want to talk about one player specifically on this offensive side of the ball that was so impactful for the Bears offense, especially after me and many other people have criticized how he's been for the Chicago Bears, and that's DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift not only was the best player on offense, he accounted for 62% of the Bears' total offense with 93 yards on the ground, 72 yards in the air as well. DeAndre Swift, through the air and ground combined, had 7.2 yards per touch. Now, he did have a lot of big plays when you look at it. 14 touches of at least 5 yards, 3 touches for at least 10 yards, 2 that went at least 25 yards in yesterday's game. DeAndre Swift made a huge impact in yesterday's game. And when you look at using him as the dual threat running back that he was supposed to be coming in here, on the ground, receiving, right? The Bears' leading receiver as well yesterday. Those are things, and again, I know DeAndre Swift, and we wanted to see more Roschon Johnson. I understand it. Roschon only had 7 touches, but the Bears as a whole had 131 yards on the ground, and 93 of those came from DeAndre Swift, 26 from Roschon, another 12 from Caleb Williams, by the way. Why no Khalil Herbert at all? Talk about it. But so that those things going in the right direction. Also, targets. 3 targets to Cole Kmet, 6 to DJ Moore, only 3 receptions for DJ Moore, 3 to Keenan Allen, and 3 to Rome Odunze. So again, trying to spread it out as much as you can for a team that didn't have a lot of success in the air. But those things are going the right way. And a key factor in this as well, how the Chicago Bears offense was much better in the second half than in the first half of this game. And you got to give the credit for that, of how this offense was able to play well enough in the second half of this game, right? Make those adjustments. And that goes to Shane Waldron as well, right? That's one of the things that is a knock on this team in this game, is that the play calling was largely the same in the first half. Now, the second half, I say that we did see a lot different play calling, and we had some really solid success overall when you look at it as well in that case. We went 3 of 6 on third downs in the second half. We're 0 of 3 in the first half of the game. A much better difference. Also, when you look at total net yards, the Bears only had 50 total net yards in the first half of the game, 214 in the second half of the game. That's the difference that we had in that game overall. So again, we're making some adjustments. We're doing some of the right things that we need to do. It's going to take some time. We're going to come along when it comes down to it, but the Bears are starting to show some signs of progress. And Caleb Williams even talked about that. We'll get into that in a second. But overall, like, our offense is starting to get there. Again, it took care of its job that you look at. When you look at the offense, right? They turned the ball over no times. Now we did have a fumble from Caleb Williams. Shout out to Matt Pryor, who helped who basically made a really great reaction to jump on that ball and to keep us from getting a turnover. But the fact that the Bears offense, I would say this, they did what needed to be done to make sure that we can secure a win. They still weren't the reason we won. Maybe that's a little bit unfair to say. I'd admit that maybe that's a little bit unfair to say they weren't the reason we won per se. But again, it was something that was a lot better for this Bears team in the second half of this game, where I haven't always had the most confidence in this Bears team, and so we're starting good. Things are starting to get better. Things are starting to improve. And I think we're starting to see this is a nice foundational game for this offense to try to build off on and to see what they can do going forward. Like at the end of the day, like the Bears, penalties were another downside to this team. You can't overlook the penalties at all. 10 penalties in this game. That's huge. You need to be able to control that. And 5 of those penalties came before a snap even happened. So that's a little bit of a struggle there, right? Had we lost this game, that's definitely something we would have been looking at to say was one of the reasons why we lost this game. But at the end of the day, I'll say this, man. Some of the things that the Bears are doing are fixable. Now that could be a positive, that could be a negative, right? Because pre-snap penalties, things like that, those are things that you want to work out in training camp. And the Bears, here we are a month into the season, and we're still talking about these things being evident for the Chicago Bears offense. But like I said, I don't want to shit on it because it was so much better in the way that we, especially in the second half, the way that we executed. I got to give them credit for that. And I can't take that away from a team that has desperately needed a lot of things to go right for this team. We need improvement. We need to get better at certain things. And so, we were 133 net yards passing, 131 yards on the ground in yesterday's game. No turnovers from the team. The offensive line, like I said, wasn't great, but still a lot better than what it was. And you just got to look at those things. I would like to utilize Rome Odunze a lot more. Keenan Allen also, you could tell he was playing through injury. I don't feel like that was the Keenan Allen experience that we can expect for a full season, that we shouldn't expect for the rest of the season. But you can tell he's going through it out there, right? I want to see Roshan used a little bit more as well. I think he's earned that. But again, when DeAndre Swift is rocking and rolling, one thing that we've said, we want to see this team be able to ride the hot hand more, right? 2 touchdowns in the second half of this game, holding the Los Angeles Rams to 1 touchdown overall, which we'll get into the defense here in a second. And so the team is starting to recognize how and where they can start improving things. And I said we got some quotes from Caleb Williams. He said this: I think this first half we had a bit more penalties than we wanted to. The main thing is with that was the penalties. We were putting ourselves in advantageous positions in the second half. Our work throughout this week was different than other weeks before. It goes to our leadership. It goes to our communication, which I've talked about multiple times. And Caleb Williams is not wrong there. This felt like a team, specifically more offensive line, that was communicating better out there. And I'm not going to put that all on Matt Pryor. Maybe a lot of it was. But I do see these things that the Bears have and did improve on in this. And like I want to give credit where credit's due. You make moves in the right direction. You get a benefit of the doubt for that, right? I'm going to give you your accolades for that. But this isn't nearly done. And somebody said in our post-game show, they left a comment and they said, listen, the offense did progress, and you got to give the offense progress. We won the game. But I will say this, so far, it doesn't look like we had to change the quarterback for the type of offense that the Bears are running, the way that this offense looks. And I'll say that's a fair statement, right? That's a fair statement. Now, it's going to take some time with Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is progressing. It's going to take some time. Again, I spent the better part of 6 weeks in the offseason after we drafted Caleb Williams to tell you guys that he was going to be a rookie quarterback. He's not going to look generational right away if he ever does, right? But, the thing is that, he's going to have a rookie season. And I know that some people, between the hype, between some of the conversation around him, kind of took that expectation away and basically made themselves feel like, hey, we need more than that. No, he's going to be a rookie. He's going to go through rookie mistakes, especially while we have the same offensive line problems, especially while we've had the play calling that we've had. Like, again, credit due in the second half, it was better. But while we still have these things going on, it's going to be rough. Go for the offense a lot of times, but we're improving. We're trying to get better. We're trying to get to a place of having a better output, better outlook overall. and we'll see what happens with this. The Bears in the fourth quarter of this game had 93 yards in the fourth quarter of this game. I think that's the most in the fourth quarter. In the third quarter, 121. Right? So we are moving in the right direction. It's not great. It's not great. I want to be clear. This is not an offense that's going to win you a playoff game. This may not be an offense that even gets you to the playoffs, but we're starting to make those moves in the right direction. Now, let's get to the defense, right? The defense led by Jaquan Brisker. You got to give Jaquan Brisker credit for how he was able to 12 total tackles, 8 solo tackles that led the team, right? It was a team high in that one. And then he also had 2 tackles for a loss, a sack, a pass deflection, and the game-sealing interception as well. Jaquan Brisker had probably his best game in the Chicago Bears uniform. And that's not hyperbole. That's a fact. But this Chicago Bears defense once again showed their ability to adjust in the second half of this game, showed their ability to, when you look at the third down conversions for the Los Angeles Rams, like they went down. They got them off the field more often in the second half than what they did in the first half of this game. And, while the Rams still had more success than I would like in certain areas, especially coming in for what this team was, the Bears aren't in a place where they can take anything lightly with any team. And, it is what it is. Matthew Stafford had 203 yards passing, net passing yards, 224 overall. We allowed some more yardage than I would have liked, but we allowed no touchdowns. No touchdowns. And there were several drives in this where the Bears are able to either keep them from getting in scoring position or hold them to a field goal. And I got to give them credit where credit's due for that, right? So, I think that ultimately when you look at one touchdown for this Rams team, the Bears have continually been that where they held teams down to not getting many touchdowns. And that puts your offense, while this offense is getting in rhythm, getting in place, to be able to do some things, right? So the defense always takes care of its end of the bargain. That's not a big concern here. When you look at the defense, the Bears defense has been the reasons why we're able to win 2 games. Again, the offense has played its part, especially in yesterday's game. I'm not going to take away from that. You put up 24 points on the board. I'm going to give you credit for that. But I think ultimately, when you look at this defense, look at TJ Edwards and his. When you look at 7 total tackles for a loss, 3 passes deflected, 6 QB hits in this game as well, right? The Bears did their thing yesterday defensively. 3 sacks as well on Matthew Stafford. We did our thing, and our defense continues to be one of the reasons why you can have the most faith in this team. This Bears defense is legit, and I keep telling y'all that. This Bears defense, and Javon, we got to start talking about Javon Dexter. Like Javon Dexter, he had 1 sack. You got to give him the credit for that. He had 2 QB hits other than that, 1 tackle for a loss. But outside of that, Javon Dexter has stepped up so much in providing pressure in both the run and the pass game. And when you see Javon Dexter out there, how he's able to bring that pressure from the interior defensive line, this is everything that Matt Eberflus has told us he's been wanting from the 3-tech in his system. And Javon Dexter's doing that consistently. He's bringing that the way that we need it brought. And overall, this defense is in such good rhythm with each other. It's great. Now, that doesn't mean that there weren't some big plays. There were some boneheaded plays. There were some times we gave up some big times, especially in that fourth. I was a little bit worried on the Rams' last drive in that fourth quarter. We kept giving up big plays, right? But the Bears' defense, again, not perfect. No defense is going to be perfect. But the thing is that the defense is putting the offense that's been struggling in a position to still win us the game by the nature of just how tenacious they've been playing. And I give credit for that, where credit's due. And so I think overall, this is a really good win for the Chicago Bears to try to build off on. This is a confidence-building win as well, right, for the offense. We got to start doing that. Shane Waldron in the second half got a lot more creative with the play calls. I'll give him credit for that as well. Let's be better throughout the game, but we were a lot better in the second half of this game, and we just got to keep pushing. We got to keep chugging along. We got to keep developing. We got to keep going in the right direction, and let's see ultimately where this team can go. And I think, keep going to that bye week. I keep saying we got 2 more games now left to the bye week. Yeah, by then, you need to be in better rhythm, and you need to be looking like an actual NFL offense, and we'll see if the Bears can do that. But with that said, I've been trying on Mondays to go to anybody who leaves voicemails reacting to the game. We got 2 this week. We're going to get into the first one. This one's from Greedy.
Oh, dubs up, man. It's Greedy, man. Hey, man. Hey, I think the haters been hating, man. They've been hating. They've been throwing shade at the Bears. But guess what? Justin Fields just lost to the Colts. Guess what? They 3-1. We finna be 3-2. You know what I'm saying? They playing Cowboys next week. Come on, man. Stop hating on my man, bro. Let the man grow, man. It's his first couple of games. Let him get his feet wet. You know what I'm saying? See what's up to his defenses, read the defenses. And he ain't had no run game. So y'all doing all this talking, man. The run game was trash. Stan Rawls, you calling that BS. But, you know, it looked better this week. And I want us to keep growing, man. We get fully healthy. Second half of the season, November, we going to be right where we need to be. Hey, I like when I see from Rojo, Swift was getting it in, you know what I'm saying? So, I like what I see, man. Caleb keep growing, man. Hey, take the easy play. That's all you got to do. Take the check down, man. Hey, keep balling, man. Defense plays, man. Briscoe, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been watching just the best game I think the man play, bro. Briscoe balled out, man. I was glad to see the man ball like that, man. I ain't seen him play like that since that game. He had like all them tackles. But hey, we in there, man. Hey, keep the faith, man. Stop. Hey, don't flip ship, man. Don't jump ship, man. You either win or you out, man. We bear down, man. It's bear die. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what everybody else talking about. I feel like we got a quarterback. I know we do, man. He got to settle down, get a run game. It's easy money every week. Every week, man. All we got to do is win 10-something games, man. We get 10 games, we in the playoffs, man. Anything can happen, man. Anything can happen, man. Hey, bear down, man. I like O-line, they took back first half. They was a little shooky, a little shaky, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Second half, they played better. Down there, right, you got to stop the penalties. DJ Moore, you played tough today. You know what I'm saying? Touchdown while being a little beat up. Hey, Kenan Allen, I want to see you out there on the route. Hey, Rome, keep doing what you got to do. Grow too, man. Hey, bear down, man.
Listen, growth is key. Growth and progress. That's how I look at this for the offense. This was a growth and progress game for the offense. And like I said many times, I got to give them credit for that. Not still great. The protection wasn't amazing. Our execution wasn't always the best, especially when you look at those penalties. But this was a growth and progress game. And we got to keep going in that direction. Caleb Williams is making steps, right? We need him to be better. And I think he would be the first to tell you as well that he needs to be better. But this offense as a total needs to be better. But what the Bears did is they made the Rams have to respect them on the ground and in the air yesterday. And that is a progress because we have not done that consistently this whole entire season. So the fact that we did it, you get a bit of credit in that. Now, take this growth and progress that you made in this game and now go and build off on it. That's what we've been needing. Foundational things, right? Foundational things that we can then take and say, all right, this is where we had some success. How do we now maximize on this success? You had some success using DeAndre Swift. You had a lot of success using DeAndre Swift. Now, how do you use that and the weapon that DeAndre Swift can be to open it up? How do you use your tight end still in Cole Kmet? Get Gerald Everett more involved, right? Going to your passing game. How now do you take what you saw successful in this game and now build a game plan to take those things and use that to find successes and set them up in other aspects of the game? That's what we need the Bears offense to do. That's what Shane Waldron and his staff need to be doing and looking at so that way we can start having an offense that actually looks like an NFL offense, at least in my opinion. All right, let's get into this next voicemail, the last one for today. This one's from DeJuan.
Bobby, hey, C-Dub, Steve-O, it's your boy, the one from the low end, Chicago. I was calling in because it's been 4 weeks. I done let 4 games pass, and I ain't called in until today. I was giving it some time because I already how shit be when it comes to football. Everybody got to get a feeling of the offense and everything, but the first week, that was a squeaky victory. Second week, we did what we had to do against Houston. We lost. Everybody's talking about the T.J. Stroud and Caleb Williams moment. And then that third game, we could have won. We supposed to won, but we lost. In this fourth game, we came out, ran the ball, let DeAndre Swift do his thing. The O-line held up as much as they can. The defense been balling out, but yeah, the Nate Davis, good that Matt Pryor up in there, and I just been waiting for it. I just want to give it a month to see how everything go pan out. But each week, Caleb Williams is getting better, and I like that. Roma Dunze, getting more acclimated. We got all these targets, and everybody want to reach 1,000 yards as receivers. But once the offense get to rolling by week 8 or about a bye week, I think we should be up and clicking because we're doing what we got to do right now to make sure that we try to protect Caleb a little bit better than what we were doing the first 3 weeks. So as long as Caleb protecting the ball and going out there and not letting the shit distract him, he'll be in good hands. So I think that we as Chicago Bears fans need to temper our expectations because it is his rookie year. If we make the playoffs, we make the playoffs. We don't, we shouldn't be mad because we got an elite defense, but at the same time, they've got a rookie quarterback. He got to go through his lumps and bruises. You see what Minnesota and all the other teams doing. They out here balling, so we got to make sure that we out here balling too. So when it comes down to the division games, as long as he's ready for the division games, we need to at least split with each team or outright beat Detroit, outright beat Minnesota. I don't care if we split with Green Bay, but I want to beat Green Bay both games just talk shit to their ass. So this your boy DeJuan from Low Win. Chi-Town up, bear down.
Yeah, Caleb getting better each week is great, and that's what we need. I think that's a huge thing that we need in this. It's Caleb Williams steady progressing as a quarterback, and it may be the full season, right? I get it what Jaden Daniels is doing down there and the fact that he's been historic so far. And I know Bears fans are always going to have FOMO. They're always going to have the woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's always going to be the thing. And, I don't care what Justin Fields and the Steelers do. I'm a Bears fan. I care about what this team does. And so, I'm always going to hope the best for whoever the Bears quarterback is. And I want Caleb Williams to grow and progress. And the thing is, it's going to take time. I'm sorry that Caleb Williams, for those that hoped and thought that he was going to be the savior and step on the field day one and look like this generational quarterback. I tried to curve those expectations the best that I can using this platform. But, listen, people don't listen to me. It is what it is. Now, I will say this as well. Matt Pryor had a huge impact on that offensive line. And it's evident. We saw it in last week in week 3. We saw it again in week 4. Matt Pryor. And sometimes it's not always about what you see as far as just the skill level. Sometimes it's about the competition they bring. Sometimes it's about the communication. Sometimes it's about the chemistry. Matt Pryor is having an impact on this Bears offensive line, and I can't wait till Ryan Bates comes back because we saw the impact that Ryan Bates had as well, because Coleman Shelton still at center is leaving a lot to be desired for. Maybe, just maybe, this Bears offensive line can start looking like an actual NFL offensive line and start helping us be better. And so we were much better in the run game yesterday. I like the way that we used DeAndre Swift to set up the pass as well. I like all those things. We just got to keep chugging along. And if we do, see how the season finishes for the Bears, because our defense is going to give it. It's really just the questions on the offense, right? We know and we see how fucking good this defense is. The biggest questions on this team come with the coaching staff, and can the offense perform well enough, take care of the ball, not turn it over, put up enough points. And if they can, this could be a fun season. But that's my time for today, guys. Make sure you guys are following the show at Chi Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related, but that's thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.